Hello, my name is Alexis Conway. I am a senior mechanical engineering major from Dallas, Texas, and today I will be talking to you about my imposter syndrome study. Agenda. Today I will discuss the introduction, purpose, materials and methods, results, show you figures and tables, talk about the discussion and conclusion, and then conclude with my references. Introduction. In life, people try to accomplish things, whether it's something as tangible as a car or a house, or something more abstract like the idea of success. What happens when a person reaches success but they believe they got there by luck? This phenomenon is known as impostor syndrome. Imposter syndrome is the feeling of inadequacy or self-doubt even in the face of events that show differently. Imposter syndrome can be categorized into three categories. The first one, feeling like a fake, believe that they're imposing on their job. The second one, thinking success was pure luck, which could be attributed to affirmative action. And the third, thinking successful moments aren't anything big, which is also saying that anybody could have done it. Who does it affect? Imposter syndrome usually affects people in high performing careers. Until recently, imposter syndrome was only known to affect women, but now it is known that it can also affect men. When does it start? Imposter syndrome could start as early as elementary school when a child is specified to go into a gifted or talented class, and that could lead them to growing up feeling like they were never gifted in the beginning. For this study, I surveyed at least 40 participants, 20 college students, and 20 working professionals. I gathered background information, and I asked questions to gather the degree of imposter syndrome. Materials and methods. For the first part of the survey, I gathered demographic info such as gender, age, education level, and race. And for the second part, I discovered the degree of imposter syndrome. So this part was comprised of 9 facts, and the subject was supposed to give them a number based on how true they were to them. It ranged from 1, which means completely untrue of me, to 6, which means describes me perfectly. I calculated the degree of imposter syndrome by adding up their totals. I sorted the data by gender and race, and then I compared the data by gender and age and the imposter and the level of the imposter syndrome. Results. Off top, the stats are shown. 18 were males, 48 were females. All ages were present except for men aged 36 to 40 did not have any participants. And most of the data collected were from Black people. As you can see, 72% of my participants, 73% of my participants were female. As it relates to age range, most of my participants ranged from 19 to 21, which is 32% of the population of participants. 82% of my participants were Black, and I did not have any representation from Native Americans or other. As it relates to education level, most of my participants were have either gotten their bachelor's degree or have their master's in their respected fields. As it relates to women, this table shows the average answer based on age for all the questions. You can see that women aged 50 and above tend to have the lower score as it relates to degree of imposter syndrome, while women aged 26 to 30 tend to have the higher score as it relates to imposter syndrome. For men, you see that ages 16 to 18 tend to have the highest average scores as it relates to imposter syndrome, while men aged 26 to 30 tend to have the lowest answers, the lowest average answer based on the question. Men versus women. In this table, you can see the average scores as it relates to gender and age range. Men 16 to 18 had the highest degree of imposter syndrome for any other age group and gender. Their score was around 44, while men's age who range from 26 to 30 tend to have the lowest degree of imposter syndrome. As it relates to women, women aged 26 to 30 tend to have the highest level of imposter syndrome, while women over 50 tend to have the lowest degree of imposter syndrome. Discussion. The average scores for the men and women were about the same at around 33. The smallest degree of imposter syndrome was in women aged 50 and above and men aged 26 to 30. Women aged 50 and above could have the smallest degree because at this point in their career, they are not moving up. And if they are working, they have been there for a while. And if they're not working, they are probably retired. Men aged 26 to 30 have the lowest score because they do not feel threatened by where they are in their job or by their capabilities. The largest degree of imposter syndrome was in women aged 26 to 30 because at this point they have been in their field for a little while and are looking for promotion, so this could come from the self-doubt that they have about how they got here. And could be a reason why they experience a high degree of imposter syndrome. While men 16 to 18 had the largest degree for men, that could be because at this point in their life, they haven't felt like they have done anything successful. They have probably just graduated high school and they feel like anybody could do that, which is the third subcategory of imposter syndrome. Conclusion. I conclude that women were still the most affected by imposter syndrome with my study. And for future work, I would like to gather more data and have a greater population of males to get that data from, and also a more variety of races to see if race has something to do with imposter syndrome. Also, I wonder if future work could also be whether education level plays a fact on imposter syndrome or whether it affects how the person is affected by imposter syndrome. These are my references. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and you can email me with any questions. I hope you enjoy it. Goodbye.